Alright, we got the boy JxmmyHighRoller with a quick 12-minute video. The most unethical hooper in basketball. You taking pics? Yeah, for the I'm live post.
The ethical hooper, a player who is true to the game, plays basketball the way it was meant to be played. No flopping, no stat padding, just pure hoops. And the opposite of the unethical hooper. The player who relies on foul baiting and gimmicks and a barrage of free throws to fill the stat sheet. And right now, there is an unethical hooper among us. Well, at least that's the reputation Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is building at the moment, with a barrage of free throws to
A barrage of free throws, bro. SGA just shot 21 free throws last night. He just shot 21 free throws last night. Does that not automatically end the video?
To fill the stat sheet. And right now, there is an unethical hooper among us. Well, at least that's the reputation Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is building at the moment, with some fans claiming his historic season has been propped up with foul hunting and an absurd free throw volume manufactured from gimmicks and tricks that are a disservice to the game. But if Shai is a foul grifter, a free throw merchant, then I've got some bad news about some of your all-time favorite players.
Facts.
Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings, the NFL and Coon new customers. All new on draft available in cash prize. Bet justly. As the 2025 NBA MVP race continues to grow closer and closer, fans across the league are finding any and every hair to split to pick a
Due to per LBG.com, I will be hosting a lamest therapy sesh. Details will be sent soon. Stay geek. Therapy sesh. About what, boy? I'm fine.
Side between two players having historically great seasons. The impossibly good Serbian gunning for his fourth MVP, or the superstar guard looking to break a 6-year chokehold big men have had on the award. And with a race this tight, deciding the
I don't think I addressed you with this, but I think LBG's gonna get changed. Not gonna lie. I think I found something better.
Most valuable player in the league may just boil down to the smallest, seemingly insignificant things, like free throws.
Yep. Thank you. I knew
now, basketball isn't much of a thinking man's sport, but leave it up to us to create a philosophical divide amongst the type of players we like and don't like. On one side, you have the locally sourced, all-natural, ethical hoopers. And on the other, you have players who essentially rely on a bag of tricks and gimmicks to navigate games and get free buckets from the line.
I'm gonna send it to you later.
Do I believe basketball actually has any sort of moral code?
I don't know, like 100%.
No. In fact, the idea of a morally superior basketball player seemed like a joke until it entered the vocabulary of head coaches around the league, making it about as real as anything else. But there is something distinctly different about these two styles of play, both aesthetically and productively. The real question is how reliant on free throws these alleged unethical hoopers are, and are they truly earning their trips to the free throw line, or are they tampering the game with their bag of tricks? And a question we all need to consider, does Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and his game even warrant the label of unethical? Now, one way to approach this question is simply by looking at the rates at which players are attempting free throws. When looking at a metric like free throw attempts per field goal attempt, SGA ranks 24th among all players this season, behind players like Trae Young, Damian Lillard, Anthony Davis, Giannis, and even an aging James Harden, who was able to escape the claims of foul baiting and stat padding years ago. So just purely looking at the rate at which players are drawing fouls, SGA isn't doing anything out of the ordinary. But to better understand Shai's scoring profile, we need to look at the kinds of fouls Shai draws and where they're coming from. Most shooting fouls don't happen out here, they happen in here. Players that stay aggressive and drive the ball more tend to put more pressure on the defense and draw more fouls. This is why a player like Dwayne Wade, for example, who spent his prime years attempting 10 free throws a game, was never associated with any foul hunting. He earned his free throws. This season, the player who drives to the basket far more than anyone else in the entire league is Shai. In fact, nearly half of all of his free throw attempts are generated through his drives to the basket. And again, if we look at the rates these drive leaders are drawing fouls on their drives, Shai is getting calls at an average rate. far from what you might see from other superstars both past and present.
Why am I
Which
not
brings
watching
us
it
to
full
a
screen,
real
bro?
point
Come
of
on, lock in.
contention when it comes to
What am I
SGA
doing?
and his historic season. One of the odd and universally accepted aspects of NBA basketball is that superstars get calls. This has been a thing since the inception
That's
of the
true.
league. Once you transcend that highest tier of player, you essentially get the benefit of the doubt, even at times when you shouldn't.
He never controlled it, Michael. He never
picked it up and then he
but
took
he didn't touch it with both hands.
Yeah, he
That's the
did.
thing. You think so, Michael? 55 hits, 2 Michael, I didn't see 2 hands on him.
That's
Michael.
aura, bro.
But I believe you.
He did.
But I believe you.
We know
That's
this,
aura.
and we accept it. And Shai is a superstar, except he hasn't consistently gotten these phantom superstar calls this season. Since the introduction of tracking data back in 1996, there have been 36 instances of a player averaging at least 30 points per game for a season. And when ranking these 36 individual seasons according to free throw rate, SGA this season ranks 26th, behind guards like Harden, Wade, Iverson, and Luka. But again, most shooting fouls should come from shots taken in the paint or around the rim. Of course, players do get clipped on threes and long jumpers and draw fouls by other means, but really it's getting downhill that tends to generate trips to the line. And specifically among guards, Shai gets into the paint and attempts more shots from inside than any other prolific scorer since the introduction of tracking data.
Yeah, the
This
last
season,
3
Shai is
times.
attempting nearly 54% of all of his shots from within 10 feet of the basket. Meanwhile, players like Kobe, Iverson, Luka, Harden, and Dame all have multiple seasons
Wait.
where they weren't getting into the paint nearly as much and still yielded far more trips to the free throw line. Shai is statistically the most aggressive volume scoring guard in recent NBA history. He takes the most shots that historically should earn trips to the free throw line, and there isn't a single metric that suggests his free throws are inflated or unwarranted. Of the previously mentioned 36 seasons of 30 points or more a game, the average number of free throws taken per game across the board is 10. This season, Shai is averaging just 8.3. So, if anything, considering his usage and his play style, Shai is actually not getting enough calls. If we've learned anything from witnessing the last decade of scoring maestros, it's that this is just the nature of great scorers. They're hard to stop. They force the defense to get physical, they get you in positions you don't want to be in, overreacting, reaching, even taking gambles hoping it yields you a stop or a turnover, when more often than not, it's just going to end up in another trip to the free throw line. And on an abstract scale of basketball morality, I don't think SGA plays an unethical style of hoops. I think he's a better and more prolific scorer than some fans are willing to give him credit for. He's not relying on free throws to get his numbers. When compromised, the defense is relying on fouling him just to slow him down. Most of Shai's drawn shooting.
R.I.P. Top Gooner. Who are you talking to? Resting Goon? Who? I'm still up there. I'm still up there, boy. No, I know you're not talking about me because I'm still up there. Fact. That's a fact. I'm still up there.
Shooting fouls look something
you
like
know.
this, where he drives into the lane and inexplicably rips through the defender's arms to put up a shot. It is damn near impossible to predict, and it works almost every time a defender cuts him off or puts a body on him. And we've seen this before with James Harden, a free trip to the line disguised as a shot attempt. In fact, this is like the 2.0 version of Harden's rip-through, because it does a much better job of masking itself as an actual shot rather than an attempt to just draw a foul. And I think that's where most fans get frustrated.
Okay, hold on. What did you just link me? Watch after?
Hi there. How's it going? Good. Do you have a water cup?
What did you just link me?
Hi there.
How's it going?
Good. Do you have a water cup?
Good. You do have to purchase something.
I can't get a water cup.
We don't allow filming. Yeah. Were you here last time?
No. What's that?
Yeah. Go ahead and turn it off.
I can't goon. I can't goon. You killed that man. 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 R.I.P. Nautica. You killed that man. You evil, sick fuckers.
Can I get the lore behind this? I don't really understand. I think I need the lore behind this. All right, back to the video.
Frustrated with this kind of basketball. It's not necessarily the outcome of the move, but rather the intent. Because we know he's not actually trying to score the ball here. He is purely looking for a foul, and he knows he can get these calls. And you could call this unethical hoops, or you could call it smart basketball. Kobe Bryant was notorious for making opposing players pay for bad defense, drawing fouls for the sake of drawing fouls. And when he did it, it wasn't viewed as his fault for taking advantage of the rules. It was the defender's fault for falling for the move in the first place. If you don't want to get baited, don't fall for the bait. You reach, I teach, as some half-decent basketball player once said. Take this play here, where he gets the defense on his hip, out of position, and reaching in to disrupt the shot. Now, Shai is baiting the foul here.
All right, we gonna watch
he's
that one
going
after.
to get it every time, because he already beat the defense 3 steps ago. Or this play here, where Shai has a 7-footer in a mismatch, feeds him the bait, and Markkanen falls for it, leading to the shooting foul. Some fans may say this is an act of basketball sin, intentionally jumping into the defender instead of just pulling up off the step back. But I don't see it that way. You've got a 7-footer on an island with no help guarding the league's leading scorer, and you leave your feet on a pump fake. Shai isn't playing unethical hoops, he's taking advantage of bad defense. All the great scorers knew this, and they all took advantage of it. As much as we resented the tricks James Harden would deploy throughout his prime scoring years,
bro,
it's
2018
worth
Harden, the
asking
best
the
NBA
question,
player I've ever
was
seen.
it the foul
Facts.
baiting and free throws that allowed him to
2018 James Harden, the best scorer I've ever seen. Facts, bro. That's just facts. Oh my God, bro. To go back to a time
be
like
the
that.
scorer he was? Or was he such a great scorer that he could bend the defense to his will whenever he wanted to? Same thing goes for a player like Joel Embiid. If the gimmicks added an extra 10% to his production, would we concede that he was in fact a historic scorer, even if he had 90% of the production, but he did it ethically? Among high-volume scorers of this century, players who averaged at least 30 points per game since 2000, according to this idea of honest scoring, 2016 Stephen Curry would be the most ethical scorer, averaging 30 points per game with just 5 free throw attempts. And on a scale of free throw reliance, 2025 Shai is far closer to Steph than he is to countless other all-time great scoring seasons. If SGA's game falls into the category of unethical hooper, then so does Kobe's, and Luka's, and Dame's, and Iverson's, and Durant's, and all of our favorite all-time great scorers. It is an unfair label on one of the best individual seasons in recent NBA history, and it is objectively not true. And if none of that changed your mind, then maybe this will. Here is every single season in modern NBA history where a player averaged at least 25 points per game. 354 individual seasons since 1980. And they are graphed in terms of scoring average and free throw attempts per game. The further right a player is, the more free throws they attempted. The further up a player is, the more points they averaged. So way off to the right are the seasons of all-time high free throw attempts, and where you'll find most historic scoring seasons, like some Embiid seasons, some LeBron seasons, Jordan's highest scoring seasons, Luka, Harden, Shaq. Even the pure bucket getters like Durant and McGrady often found themselves at the line during the peak of their powers.
Makes sense.
So where does Shai's 2025 season land? It's right here. The 18th highest scoring season in modern NBA history, while attempting just the 142nd most free throws per game. And that, my friends, is some honest, homegrown, ethical hoops.
Or a man himself, bro. Or a man himself. Or a man himself, bro. That's just so inspirational. Do they win the chip? No, because the Phoenix Suns are winning it.